Hello everyone, this is Fire from Tech Gaming Villa. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about the 2TB, the left side Samsung CU8000 2023 model, and the right side the latest Samsung DU8000 2024 model. If you see this 2TB, both TB is a pretty okay for PC monitor. The Samsung CU8000 is alright if you want to use as a PC monitor. It has a narrow viewing angle, so the screen size look washed out. If you sit close to it, it also has a poor response time, leading to trailing behind the mouse cursor or when moving windows around it. It does have low input lag when set to game mode, which makes for responsive mouse or controller inputs. Sadly, it's not optimal for PC gaming as it has motion blur due to its bright response time, and the TV is limited to 16 Hz and has no VRR support. The CU8000 TV's white color gamut is great for professional design work, but unfortunately the TV has poor color accuracy and some uniformity issues. However, the TV displays chroma 4:4:4 properly in PC mode, which is important for text clarity, although it's not as clear as it could be due to the TV's busier sub-pixel layout. On the other hand, the Samsung DU8000 is decent for use as a PC monitor. It has a good response time, so there's minimal blur behind fast cursor movements, and it's incredibly low input lag, provides a responsive desktop experience. On the other hand, the TV has a narrow viewing angle, so the sides of the screen don't stay uniform with the center when sitting close to the screen. Unfortunately, the TV only has decent reflection handling and doesn't get bright enough to overcome glare, so it's not a good option if you use your computer in a bright room. Although the TV can display chroma 4:4:4, we encountered an issue that intermittently displays it incorrectly. So the positive side of CU8000 is its displays chroma 4:4:4 subsampling, low input lag in game mode, and white color gamut. And same for DU8000 also. It has good response time and incredibly low input lag for a responsive gaming experience. But CU8000 is limited to 16 Hz and has no VRR support, doesn't get very bright in HDR and HDR, inaccurate color profile, poor pre-calibration accuracy, and narrow viewing angle. And the downside of DU8000 is its intermittent issue displaying chroma 4:4:4, doesn't get very bright, narrow viewing angle, poor low quality content smoothing with noticeable artifacts present, no VRR support, and is limited to 60 Hz. And calibration has almost no effect on the picture. If you see the 2TB's style, the CU8000 TV looks very good for an entry-level model. It has the same feet as 2021 Samsung AU8000. They are on the bigger side, but they sit flat against the table. The TV looks slim and with thin bezels and a premium look. On the other hand, the Samsung DU8000 looks good for an entry-level model. It's a thin TV with slim bezels on three sides and slightly thicker on the bottom. Overall, it looks premium. The CU8000 stand has two plastic feet with which support the TV wall. The footprint of the 65-inch stand is 42.6 inch to 11.1 inch. The feet are height adjustable with two positions. One position is high enough that most soundbars will fit below the screen, while the other position, which you can see, push the screen closer in table. The height of the lower position is 2.01 inch and the higher one is 3.03 inches. On the other side, the DU8000 TV uses two plastic feet that support the TV wall. The footprint of the 65-inch stand is 42.2 inch and into 3.2 inch. The height of the feet is adjustable and you can set them to two different positions. The lower position, which you can see, push the screen close to the table. The other position is high enough that most soundbars fit below the screen. The height of the lower position is 2.1 inch and the higher one is 3.07 inch. The back of the CU8000 TV is plastic and has horizontal lines that are nearly identical to the Samsung AU8000. The Samsung CU8000 offers little in terms of cable management, but you can run cables through cable channels on the back of the TV and then through a small clip set on the back of the feet The input ports are placed within a cutout on the back of the TV, and one port is directly on the back panel, making them very hard to reach if the TV is wall mounted. For that reason, if you want to wall mount this TV, a mounting arm is recommended. On the other hand, the DU8000 back of the TV is identical to the Samsung CU8000. It's made entirely out of plastic and has edged horizontal lines. There are two ports that directly face the back and a cutout where you will find the rest of the input. So this can be hard to reach if you have the TV wall mounted. The TV has channels on the back and comes with a clip that can be attached to either foot or for cable management. The Samsung CU8000 has okay build quality. It's made entirely of plastic, which feels good but looks a bit generic. However, the TV has a large amount of wobble. If you shake one corner of the TV, that whole panel wobbles. The back panel of the TV also feels loose, almost as if it isn't properly attached to the TV. Overall, a downgrade from the Samsung CU8000, if I compare this into build quality. On the other hand, the Samsung DU8000 has mediocre build quality. It's made entirely of plastic and there's some wobble from front to back, but the TV recovers quickly. There's also some flakes on the back of the TV that increases near the VESA mounting points, but this doesn't cause any issues. However, there's a large gap between the area where the screen meets the border. I don't know if this is isolated to this unit, but it's concerning. If you see the CU8000 picture quality, it has an inadequate contrast ratio similar to the 2021's Samsung AU8000 but worse than 2020's Samsung TU8000. Its native contrast is alright, but it lacks a local dimming feature, so blacks look fine in dim and dark scenes, but they become glazed and washed out when bright highlights are on the screen. If you want a very similar TV with better contrast, you can choose the Samsung DU8000. The contrast ratio of CU8000 is 4200:1. On the other hand, the Samsung DU8000 has slightly better contrast ratio. It's 5500:1 almost. The Samsung DU8000 has unremarkable contrast. Its native contrast is good, but it lacks local dimming feature, so that's a dip in dim and dark scenes, but they become lost and washed out when bright highlights are on the screen. If you see the blooming, as this TV lacks a local dimming feature, there's no blooming around bright objects or subtitles in dark scenes. Sadly, the backlight is always on at the same intensity, and the TV has a low contrast ratio. Dark scenes look washed out. On the other hand, Samsung DU8000 doesn't have local dimming features, so there's no blooming around bright objects or subtitles during dark scenes. The CU8000 TV doesn't have local dimming feature, as I said, so the entire backlight is always on at same intensity. The lack of lightening zone transitions means that there are no distracting flicker or brightness changes as bright highlights move across the screen. On the other hand, the DU8000 TV also the same, so it can't adjust the backlight of individual zones or to brighten up highlights without impacting the rest of the image. This means that there is no distracting flicker or brightness changes as bright highlights move between dimming zones. Switching to game mode, the CU8000 makes no noticeable difference in dark scene performance, but on DU8000 game mode doesn't result in any noticeable difference in dark scene performance as well. The restored brightness of CU8000 on peak 10% window is 295 CD per meter square, 50% window 296 CD per meter square, and peak 100% window 296 CD per meter square. On the other hand, the DU8000 is dimmer than CU8000. On peak 10% window, it 241 CD per meter square, 50% window almost same, and peak 100% window 242 CD per meter square, which is dimmer than CU8000. And sustained 100% window, the CU8000 296 CD per meter square. On the other hand, DU8000 same 241 CD per meter square. The visual brightness is disappointing on CU8000. It's not bright enough to display HDR content properly. Bright highlights don't stand out, and overall this TV doesn't provide a good HDR experience. On the other hand, the DU8000 is even inadequate HDR brightness, even worse I will say. It's not bright enough to display HDR content properly. Bright highlights don't stand out, and overall this TV doesn't provide an impactful HDR experience. On HDR brightness in game mode, the peak 10% window CU8000 provides 311 CD per meter square. On the other hand, DU8000 works 238 CD per meter square. On peak 50% window, CU8000 312 CD per meter square, and DU8000 same 238 CD per meter square, and peak 100% window and sustained 100% window. It's similar 312 CD per meter square for CU8000. On the other hand, peak 100% window, 50% window, and sustained 100% window, the DU8000 provides 238 CD per meter square, much bigger than CU8000, I will say. Although the CU8000 TV is slightly brighter in game mode than movie mode, its overall HDR brightness in game mode is still disappointing. And DU8000 is even more disappointing. Game mode slightly brighter, but it's not noticeable, and it's still too dim to provide an impactful HDR experience while gaming. So in this two TV, they both are not ideal for gaming. If you prefer gaming, then you have to choose a better model like Samsung Q80C or Q70C. So what's your thought about this two TV? Please write in the comments below. That's it from now.